What's good, everybody? It's Vaughn, and you know this is where you get that knowledge that you don't get in college. Go ahead and scroll into the description, click the link next to WeBull, and collect your 12 free stocks. Today, I'm going to talk about the EIDL, which is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. During the pandemic, small businesses weren't doing well, so the SBA came in and they offered up to $2 million in the form of an Economic Injury Disaster Loan. This loan had two components. The first component was a grant, which was up to $10,000 that they were offering to small businesses, and that was not repayable. The second portion of it was a loan, which was repayable over the course of 30 years. And what made this loan product appealing to a lot of small business owners is the low interest rates, as well as the fact that the loan payments were deferred for the first 30 months. The loan also had more stipulations. If you borrowed $25,000 or less, it was an unsecured loan. However, if you borrowed more than $25,000, then you had to collateralize that loan with some form of collateral. In addition to that, if you borrowed more than $200,000, then you would have to be a personal guarantor on the loan. January of 2023 is when that deferment period had ended for most small businesses. But many small businesses still have not yet been able to stabilize themselves, and they're struggling to stay afloat. Since then, the SBA has tried to aid small business by giving small businesses the opportunity to lower their monthly payments by up to 90% for a 6-month period. As of right now, the EIDL loan is not forgivable because the SBA does not have the authority to forgive loan. Only a congressman does. In order for us to get any shot of forgiving our EIDL loan, we would have to reach out to the congressman. But on the bright side, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan is discharged in a bankruptcy. So if you're a small business owner that borrowed $25,000 or less, if you're to file bankruptcy or close down your business, there's nothing that the SBA would be able to do because that loan was unsecured. However, if you borrowed more than $25,000, then the SBA does have the ability to come after your collateral. With the economy and the state that we're in, the fact that EIDL payments are just now coming due does not help at all. And it's going to make things a lot worse for small business in the foreseeable future. There's a few questions that I would like to answer that some people may have. First, will the SBA put you in jail if you default on your loan? No, the SBA will not put you in jail if you default on your loan. However, what can cause you to be put in jail is fraud. So if you lied on the application or you misappropriated the funds, then yeah, you can be placed in jail for those reasons. So if you're someone who applied for the EIDL loan and you didn't have a business and you went and bought a car or you went and bought a house, then that would be considered fraudulent activity, and it could cause you to serve some jail time. So if you took out the loan for working capital and that's exactly what you used the loan for, then you're safe. They're not going to put you in jail. But what they can do is sue you and try to retrieve the funds that you borrowed. Question number 2. Did I pledge my business assets as collateral? If you borrowed more than $25,000, then you're required to pledge some collateral. So what that means is that the SBA will have a lien on your business so that if you were to close your business and try to sell your assets, you wouldn't be able to just pocket that cash. You'd have to pay them back for the loan that you borrowed. The third question, can I settle my EIDL loan? Right now, settlements are not an option, and the only people that should really be concerned about a settlement are the people that borrowed over $200,000 because they had to personally guarantee that loan. If you borrowed $25,000 or less, then the loan is unsecured, and the chances that SBA is going to come after you is not likely. Because there's much bigger loans out there, and with the larger loans, the borrowers have much more at stake because they're personally guarantored, which means that the SBA has the ability to go after that borrower's personal assets, rather than going after your $25,000 that's unsecured, so they have no leverage to pressure you into paying them. If you borrowed less than $200,000, then you weren't required to personally guarantee that loan. So they wouldn't be able to come after your personal assets. However, they could go after the business assets. And if you close that business and there's no business assets, then there isn't much they could do. Will the SBA force you to shut down your business? In theory, yes, they could force you to close your business. But the probability that they will is not likely. So even though they have the ability to shut down your business, the chances are in most cases they won't. Last and final question. Will the SBA ever do an offer in compromise? For those of you that don't know, an offer in compromise is when, let's say you borrowed $1 million from the SBA. And you approach them, letting them know that you don't have the ability to pay them $1 million, but you can pay them $200,000. And they accept that offer. So you pay the $200 and that satisfies the debt. So offer in compromise is essentially a settlement. You go to the SBA and tell them that you can't pay them in full, but you can pay them something less? And the answer is we don't know. But at this point in time, they're currently not accepting an offer in compromise. Although they're not currently accepting offer and compromises, at some point down the road, they may accept offer and compromises. They could also do a blanket forgiveness where they forgive a certain percentage of the loan, or maybe they'll just waive the interest. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so that you're notified every time that I make a new post. Until next time.